future will someday come along. Try to believe in believing, and to have a little faith in the world. Faith in the world. Have a little faith in the world. Have a little faith in the world. Faith in the world. Have a little faith in the world. We do a little dreaming and we plant it in our hearts. With a little bit of love, it'll grow each day. Wanting our children to never be afraid. Is there a better dream worth dreaming? We have a little faith in the world. Faith in the world. Have a little faith in the world. Have a little faith in the world. Faith in the world. Have a little faith in the world. Have a little faith in the world. Faith in the world. Have a little faith in the world.
That'll help. It's been a long time since I've been up here, and I'm so grateful to be able to be up here again. Janice taught me something that helps me, and I don't know if she'll even remember it because it was a long time ago. She's out there. And it was like, relax. Try it with me. You go, hold it, relax. Try it. Relax. That really works. Okay. Welcome to Unity for Spiritual Growth. I'm Beverly. What I love about Unity of Appleton is there are no prejudices here. Neither who you are, what you believe, you are welcomed here in this spiritual community. There is a saying in Addictive Anonymous groups, take what you like and leave the rest. I'm going to talk about 3 words because sometimes I don't understand what words are. And I'm going to talk about 3 words that you often hear at Unity: inherent, consciousness, and namaste. Quote, all persons possess inherent dignity and worth. Thus all human beings have unconditional inherent value and worth which they can never lose. Although human persons are individually distinctive and each is unique, all share equally in inherent human dignity. Unquote. Author unknown. A synonym for inherent is inborn. Unity believes its 12 powers are inherent. Unity Principle 2, human beings have a spark of divinity with them, the Christ Spirit within, their very essence of good, and therefore they are also inherently good. The word consciousness is in most of the 5 principles of unity. Higher consciousness is a state of elevated awareness and perceptive in which in a period has a deeper understanding of the nature of reality, the self, and various spiritual aspects of life that play an important role in one's personal evolution and psychological development. Author unknown. There are 4 levels of consciousness. Deep sleep is a subconscious, dreaming is unconscious, waking is conscious, then there is absolute consciousness. Absolute consciousness is everything around you, while self-consciousness is the fact of your own being as a person. Feeling and knowing comes with self-confidence. Consciousness. Michael Bethwick, minister of the Agape Church, describes this following evolution in 4 phrases. Mary O'Malley, also in Unity, added 2 more and calls them the 6 phases of higher consciousness. They are: 1, life happens to you. 2, life happens by you. 3, life happens in you. And 4, life happens for you. And 5 is life happens through you. 6, life is you. Namaste. I knew it was wonderful, but I didn't know what it was. Namaste was a Hindu custom and was adopted by many Buddhists. It means, I bow to the divine in you. Temple Hayes, author of How to Speak Unity, describes Namaste as the God within me meets and recognizes the God within me. From me to you, Namaste. Okay. Our vision. Say it with me, please. A word powerfully transferred through shared spiritual awakening. And our mission, advancing the movement of spiritual awakening and transformation through unity, a positive path for spiritual living. And our values, abundance, acceptance, community, diversity, integrity, joy, and love. And we celebrate our children. Unity of Appleton sees the divinity in all children and nurtures their unfolding spirituality. And the daily word, I actually can see it up here this time. When I listen to my inner conversation and recurring thoughts, I may hear fear-based, irritating talk, or I may hear, I'm going up here. Because my thoughts and words reflect my divine inheritance. Okay, I hear positive words encouraging me to live joyfully and confidently. The choice is mine. Through my divine gift of power, I take command of my thoughts and my life. I release thoughts of powerlessness, and as I do, my negative self-talk diminishes. I affirm divine inheritance of faith, wisdom, understanding, and strength with my thoughts, words, and actions. The power to live a full life is mine. I embrace insights I've gained through experience. I own my mistakes without shame or embarrassment. I am eager to learn. I am willing to try new things and stretch myself. In power, I strive. In Proverbs 18:21, death and life are in the power of the tongue, and those who love it will eat its fruits. And say it with me, the thought in the morning on the top there. My thoughts and words reflect my divine inheritance.
Join us.
Sing a song to the Lord, go on and lift your voice. Sing a song to the Lord and make a joyful noise. Sing a song to the Lord, go on and lift your voice. La 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 la, and make a joyful noise. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, and make a joyful noise. Sing a song to the Lord, go on and clap your hands. Sing a song to the Lord, go stomp your feet and dance. Sing a song to the Lord, go on and clap your hands. La 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 la, go stomp your feet and dance. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, go stomp your feet and dance. Clap your hands and stomp your feet. God made the whole world to sing. We fill our hearts with all God's love, so we can lift our voices up. Sing a song to the Lord, go shake your tambourine. Sing a song to the Lord and let your voices ring. Sing a song to the Lord, go shake your tambourine. La 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 la, and let your voices ring. Clap your hands and stomp your feet. God made the whole world to sing. We fill our hearts with all God's love, so we can lift our voices up. Sing a song to the Lord, go on and lift your voice. Sing a song to the Lord and make a joyful noise. Sing a song to the Lord, go on and lift your voice. La 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 la, and make a joyful noise. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, and make a joyful noise. La 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 la, la 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 la, la 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 la, and make a joyful noise.
Synchronicity. Would you please sing it again?
I like that one.
I loved it. Now, is this off again? It's on, oh, okay. It's my honor to what am I doing? Introducing. It's my honor to introduce Reverend Evin. I knew I was going to do this, and I've done this before, and when I do that, I just laugh and go on. So let's just start over. It is my honor to introduce Reverend Evin. He's been with us so long and one of my favorite people. Reverend Evin Wilkins is a graduate of Unity Urban Ministerial School and an ordained Unity minister. Oh, thank you. I'm sorry, Evin. Unity minister. He is the co-minister for Courageous Living in Unity, an alternative Unity ministry. Evin enjoys spending time with his wife, Mindy, and their fur babies, reading, writing, yoga. Hey, I did real well in the beginning. Shamanistic studies and learning to play the guitar. We know him and love to have him here, even if it's virtually. Please welcome Reverend Evin.
Hey, thank you, Beverly. Hey, I like yogurt too, if that counts. So, you hit the nail on the head with that one. I also want to thank you, Beverly, for the relax. That's really important to remember. And I'm going to use that tonight when I meditate, because that's just a really good reminder to just stop and breathe and relax. And I feel like I've already gotten my spiritual fulfillment this morning. Make a joyful noise, relax. Hey, I'm good to go. Hope y'all are good. Y'all have a great day. No, I'm just kidding. All right. Okay, so today I know we're talking about the third unity principle, but I have titled my talk "To Be or Not to Be," and we'll get into that. So is anybody here a Shakespeare fan? I can't see your hands raised, so I'm going to assume that several people are. And even if you aren't, you have likely heard the infamous "To Be or Not to Be." And for those of us who are Shakespeare fans, I think you're going to enjoy the talk today because it is themed around that famous quote. But we're going to do something. What I like to say is, when I take what appears to be things that are completely unrelated to unity, I like to say that I'm going to take it and unitize it. So today we're going to unitize to be or not to be. But I also feel like, since I'm basing today's talk on that quote, that I really should share the whole thing, as it is really all kind of applicable today. To be or not to be, that is the question. Whether 'tis nobler in the mind to suffer the slings and arrows of outrageous fortune, or to take arms against a sea of troubles, and by opposing in them, to die, sleep no more, and by a sleep to say we end the heartache and the thousand natural shocks that flesh is heir to. 'Tis a consummation devoutly to be wished, to die, to sleep, perchance to dream. Aye, there's the rub. For in that sleep of death, what dreams may come. So to me, that is very powerful, is it not? Maybe I feel that way because there's a lot of unity teachings, at least in my opinion, that can be gleaned from that entire piece of poetry. So I want to take some of this today and apply it to a decision we must make on a daily basis, really moment by moment when you think about it. So what happens when we make the decision to be? And what happens when we make the decision not to be? So I have several favorite spiritual authors, and Dan Millman is perhaps one of my favorites. He and Wayne Dwyer, but we'll talk about Dan Millman today. But one of Dan Millman's books will occasionally grab my attention again as I browse my bookshelves, and when it does, I will usually pick it up. So the most recent I've been glancing through is his Wisdom of the Peaceful Warrior. If you've never read it, I would highly recommend it. It's a great book. But Wisdom of the Peaceful Warrior. And in that book, he mentions to be or not to be. And he mentions at one point in his life about how he was contemplating suicide. He says, "In this state of psychological paralysis and suffering, I was forced to confront questions about meaning, life, and death. As I stood on this inner precipice, I came face to face with the core of my life, my identity, and my existence." Now, I don't think we must be on the brink of something such as suicide to come to that place in our lives where we approach and we stand on that inner precipice. I think that it can happen many times throughout our lives. Those times where we may feel conflicted, maybe confused, isolated, or even wondering to ourselves what the next step in life may be for us. We've all likely heard at one point or the other the question what is the meaning of life? And this is where that question is really driven home. What is the meaning of life? Now, Mr. Millman goes on to say, you are a story in the making, and no one can predict what the next chapter, the next day, or the next moment will bring. Maybe we can't always predict, but we can decide how the next chapter is going to go down. So does anyone know any of the ways we can do this just right off the top of your head? One of the ways I know is by utilizing our unity principles and our tools here at Unity. And of course, those that we learn in other spiritual teachings as well. But one of those is a big one at Unity, and it's our third Unity principle. It is centered around co-creating with God, and you can substitute the word God for universe, anything you want to be. I like to, I'm a fan of Dungeons and Dragons, so I like to sometimes interject the word wizard. But it's centering around co-creating with God. And if you look at unity.com, you'll see the third principle listed as we are co-creators with God, creating reality through thoughts held in mind. And as I mentioned the last time we met, and I think y'all have been using this book, but I always like to use Reverend Ellen Davenport's book. And I like to use the description in her book, The 5 Principles, because she really explains them pretty well. She says, regarding the third principle, she says, human beings create our experiences by the activity of our thinking. Everything in the manifest realm has its beginning in thought. And that includes to be or not to be. And today I'd also like to add to be or not to be, perhaps God, or perhaps, depending on how you look at it, the co-creator with God. So I like to visualize a lot of things, but I visualize this giant whiteboard or chalkboard, depending on what you prefer. And I think about it at the beginning of the school year. Those of you who are teachers or were teachers, you know what I'm talking about. It's fresh at the beginning of the year. That chalkboard's fresh, it's clean, and it's a blank slate. It's ready to be filled with whatever you choose to fill it with. And those things you fill it with start where? They start in your head. Whatever it is in your head sets everything else into motion until eventually your hand begins to write and brings it out into the manifest realm on that chalkboard. Now envision life as one big whiteboard or chalkboard or even a canvas. It's waiting to be filled. It wants to be filled. You first bring into your thoughts whatever it is you want to fill that board or canvas with. And the beauty is that you can fill that blank slate with whatever it is you choose to fill it with. Now, occasionally something may make its way there, something we may not want to see. Sometimes we may walk up to our canvas or our board feeling a bit irritated, maybe a bit angry about some of the things that happened during the day, maybe feeling a bit of confusion or confliction about something that's happened. Sometimes we may walk up to it, we don't feel loved in that moment, or, we're just entirely kind of put out with life altogether at that time. Anything else ever, or does anybody else ever have those thoughts about just feeling confused or angry, or is it just me? Hopefully I can't see your hands again, but hopefully it's everybody. Anyway, I'm happy to find out I'm in good company here because I know at least one person raised their hand. So thank you, whoever that was. But as a result of those things I'm experiencing at any given time, I may look at that canvas and realize that I've written or painted something that goes along with those experiences that I'm feeling in that moment. Something that I could probably take the eraser and just erase on that chalkboard. But before I erase those things, I could also maybe look at them from a different perspective. Maybe my experience brought them forward because I needed to see them. Okay, I can see y'all's heads now, so now I can see if people are raising their head. They are changing the camera a bit, so I'm watching all of you now. But maybe my experience brought those things forward because it was something that I needed to see. Maybe that crooked line that I drew could have a few more lines added to it, making it maybe not so crooked after all. Or even allowing me to see the beauty of that crooked line. Maybe that equation that I unsuccessfully tried to solve on that chalkboard was unsuccessful because it was only through that unsuccessful attempt that I learned to do it better the next time, which is quite often with me in equations because math is not my thing. But maybe sometimes it just is or was. Maybe sometimes I drew something from what I perceived as a negative experience in my life because I just needed to get it out. Plain and simple. No more, no less. To be or not to be. Only I can create my experiences of what is to be or not to be. Maybe to be or not to be also results in me, starting to live my life in a little bit of a different way. Lots of times we've practiced the old way, right? We've practiced the old way until we're blue in the face and we're tired of it. We know that it's time for something new and we want something new. Otherwise, we wouldn't be studying ways to do things differently, here at Unity or through any other spiritual teaching. We might not even be studying spiritual principles, because why would we necessarily if things are going exactly the way we want them to be going all the time? Dan Millman says in his book, he says, you don't have to do anything except to stop seeing the world from the viewpoint of your own personal cravings. Loosen up, he says. When you lose your mind, you'll come to your senses. Now, if you're like me, you may be thinking about that quote that I just said and think, well, hey, that sounds pretty good, but hold on. Wait a minute. Lose my mind? Did you just say that? What? Okay, maybe that doesn't sound quite so good after all. Or does it? Now, I'm not sure how many have read any of Dan Millman's books, Peaceful Warrior. But in his books, he talks about a teacher that he had. It was a spiritual teacher by the name, he refers to the name of Socrates. Not the famous Socrates that you've learned about in school, but just a guy that appears as a regular guy by the name of Socrates. And Dan Millman lets us know in the book that when Socrates told him to lose his mind, he wasn't talking about becoming irrational. He was, as Mr. Millman states, talking about, on the contrary, to pay attention to the reality around me rather than merely thinking about it. So what does that mean? To me, it means a shift in perception. What is it that I am paying attention to? What do I choose to put in my mind each and every day? Heck, what do I put in my mind each and every moment? Lots of times we walk around with this veil that covers our faces. And when we do, we view life through that veil. Sometimes we wear a veil that may skew our sight a little bit. It may make us see things as they really may not be. Maybe you're wearing a red veil and it makes you see everything in the world as red. You look up at the sky and it appears to be red, but that doesn't actually make the sky red, right? Sometimes you just need to move the veil over to see the sky for the actual color that it is. What if we were to agree to lose that part of our mind that A, tells us that we must wear a veil in the first place, and B, that part of our mind that makes us feel as if we need to even wear one in the first place? Wouldn't you rather take it off and see the colors as they really are? To see life as it really is? To feel the breeze and the sunlight on your face? So I want to share a quote that I found. Now, unfortunately, I'm not sure who said it, so I can't give credit, but just know that it's not mine. But it says, once you have started seeing the beauty of life, ugliness starts disappearing. If you start looking at life with joy, sadness starts disappearing. You cannot have heaven and hell together. You can have only one. It is your choice. So what you choose to see is up to you, day by day, moment by moment. For we make the decision to be or not to be. So I ask you today to take with you the question of, when you leave church today, take the question of to be or not to be. And really think about what it is that you want to be. Think about what it is. Think about what it is that immediately comes to mind when you think about that. How does the thought of being what you want to be make you feel? How does it look? Because I'm going to tell you, what you want to be is already there within you. You just need to make the decision to let that part of you shine through. And I want you to take this knowledge with you. And anytime the thought of what you don't want to be enters your mind, I want you to use not only what you want to be, but what you already are and just need to bring forth and to remind yourself of. I ask you and invite you to use that as your anchor. Because to be or not to be, that choice is always yours. Namaste, my wonderful, wonderful Appleton friends. Love you all.
Thank you, Evan. I I now invite you to begin to prepare yourself for reflective personal prayer and guided musical meditation, after which I ask that you remain in essential silence during the music. If you choose to, you can close your eyes. Feel the weight of your body as it relaxes into your chair and you let go of today's anxieties. Feel your feet on the solid earth as you let go of tomorrow's worries. Become aware in this moment of your breathing as you breathe in life and breathe out love. Breathe in life and breathe out love. As you become centered, focus your attention on your beautiful heart, your beautiful Christ self. Become filled with gratitude and allow into yourself that which fills you with peace and love. So we begin. Now I invite you to gently return to this place. Open your eyes in the spirit of peace and gratitude.
Thank you, Tom and John. Now we're supposed to be awake. After meditation, please say, That's what I'm supposed to say. Now we move from meditation to our affirmation of prosperity. This is a time in our service when those of us who think of Unity of Appleton as our spiritual home practice putting spirit first in our financial life. We know when we do this, not only does it prosper the spiritual community we love, it also supports our own spiritual growth and prosperity. Let this be the time to connect with the guidance of Spirit in you and give whatever amount Spirit guides you to give. Whenever that amount is this morning, take it in your hand and bless it with your love. If you are the one of the growing number of us who give electronically, take the gift into your heart. Feel free to bless this plate as it passes by. Let yourself feel as grateful as you can to God in you as your one source. Then please join in our affirmation of prosperity. Say it with me. Dine and answer in the flow of divine abundance and radiant and life-giving possibilities. The celebration of giving and receiving divine love in and through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I joyfully give and willingly receive. I give in love, and I trust God as my source.
I've heard there was a secret chord that David played and it pleased the Lord, but you don't really care for music, do you?
It goes like this, the fourth, the fifth, the minor fall.
down here. In the spirit of divine order, we are grateful for these and other gifts of our continuing path of prosperity and service. And so it is. I'll take it. Announcements. Want to serve our community? Please prayerfully consider joining the Board of Trustees. Spiritual and personal growth are two of the benefits of volunteering, plus they have a lot of fun. I know because I ride with Louise, so and she's on the board. Election of new board members happens at our annual meeting in February. Contact Paige for J for more information. It's not spelled like I see your name, Paige, up there.
It's spelled correctly.
Oh, I know. Okay. Reminder, Life Visioning will not meet today due to the new member meeting. They will resume January 29th, which would be next Sunday. Okay. And try something new. Want to try something new? We have an easy job for you, chairperson. And it is. You just have to relax and enjoy yourself. Thank you so much to those who signed up last Sunday. Questions? Ask anyone who has done it before, and they will tell you how much fun it is. Okay, Monday night book club. The Wisdom of the Council. The new Monday night book is Wisdom of the Council by Sarah Landon. This book club meet for the first time Monday. And please talk to Louise. Louise is here today. You can raise your hand. She's usually downstairs with the kids. Please talk to Louise for more information. Prayer group starting. The prayer group purpose is twofold. For all who choose to participate, we want to be more comfortable praying affirmatively. We will be a prayer resource for unity, our wider community, and the world. When anyone from anywhere wants prayer, we will offer it. And there's a sign up at the Connect and Serve table if you choose to do something that wonderful. Saving Paws, another wonderful thing. The Spiritual Social Action Team is collecting donations to Saving Paws, a nonprofit, no-kill animal rescue that's run by volunteers. Please see, what is that called? Spiritual Action Team. Bulletin board, SSAT, in the sanctuary for a list of what they need the most, over by that wonderful Valentine tree. Okay, Tai Chi Flow and Progression. Every Thursday at 10 a.m., February 2nd to March 20th. No class on March 2nd. An 8-week series in which attendees will learn Tai Chi principles and progress into Tai Chi forms. Wow. Series will include the 4 elements of, help me with that one, Zhan and Tai Chi, I knew that one. Movement, breath, meditation, and self-massage tapping. Note, there is no set progression schedule. We will progress as it makes sense for the group. No experience is necessary. To register, please contact Lori, Seasons of Life Empowerment @gmail.com. And mark your calendars. There are 2 important upcoming events: the annual meeting, February 19th after church and on all-day wellness event February 25th. More info to come. And did you notice something new in the back of the sanctuary? Thanks to an anonymous donor, we have a couch. I did notice that. Now there is a comfy place to hang out for kids to toddle around during the service. Wonderful. According to our bylaws, each of us must confirm our membership status. This year you can confirm your status online. Please to go unityofappleton.org, click the menu button, and choose membership. Please get your form in by February 1st. You have questions? We will have a quick tutorial after the service today. You can fill out the form then too. And now, if you'll stand and recite with me the prayer of protection. The light of God surrounds us, the love of God enfolds us, the power of God protects us, the presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well.
Feel
John.
free to sing, dance.
There we
Notice
go.
how the lyrics have been unitized, just like
Yeah, just
Reverend
like
Evan
Evan
said
taught.
today.
Yeah.
love will keep us together.